Hello and welcome to YNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this. Isak to Liverpool at last. Newcastle open door as 80 million deal confirmed. Alexander Isak's big money move to Liverpool finally looks on, with Newcastle United opening the door to a transfer after weeks of wrangling. Isak has been pushing to leave St. James's Park since having a transfer request turned down in July. He has been training apart from Eddie Howe's squad and even briefly flew to Spain to work at the facilities of Real Sociedad when the crisis appeared at its peak. The 25-year-old Sweden star may be back in Newcastle, but he is no closer to featuring for the Toon, where he is under contract until 2028. The Magpies had been adamant that they would not sell Isak, but with Nick Woltemade set to arrive from Stuttgart in an $80 million deal, Sky Sports reports that they have now opened the door for Isak to leave. Liverpool will still need to increase the 130 million opening bid they made for the striker. Earlier this summer, it was implied that Newcastle might do business around the 170 million, but with Isak taking a strong stance, their negotiating position is weakened, and holding out for such a sum looks unlikely. Furthermore, Sky Sports reports that Newcastle would also ideally like to sign YNWA from Brentford before listening to offers from Liverpool. The DR Congo forward is a like-for-like replacement for Callum Wilson, who departed on a free transfer earlier in the summer. Reds to go big again. Liverpool's move for Isak only hinges on having an offer accepted by Newcastle. Arne Slot's side have already agreed personal terms with the striker over a contract that will run until 2030 with the option of an additional year. The Anfield club have not been shy about spending big this summer. They have already splashed out $325 million on 5 major signings, including a British record $125 million to snap up Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen. Any deal for Isak will exceed that figure and set a new Premier League transfer. Liverpool transfer. News live. Newcastle replacement expected. Guehi updates. After Liverpool's pulsating first away match of the new season, where the Reds won 3-2 away at Newcastle United, all eyes are on Alexander Isak to see what happens next in the player's long-running transfer saga. It says much about just how high-profile Isak's situation has become that it dominated the post-match discussion on Monday as much as YNWA's record-breaking goal did. Today, Newcastle reached an agreement to sign Nick Woltemade from Stuttgart. Woltemade, 23, scored 17 goals and 33 appearances for his current club last season, and he is reportedly viewed as a replacement for Isak. Isak. Development? Apologies for the lack of updates over the last couple of hours. Our focus has been on the Champions League draw. While that's been going on, Newcastle has reached an agreement to sign Nick Woltemade from Stuttgart Woltemade, who can play as both an attacking midfielder or as a forward, scored 17 goals in 33 appearances for Stuttgart last season. Could the move signal that Newcastle is preparing for the departure of Alexander Isak? We'll find out over the next few days. Arne Slot makes decision over 35 million attacker amid offer reports. Liverpool have opted to clear out several midfield and attacking talents over the course of this transfer window. We've seen Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez lead the way for departures, joining Bayern Munich and Al Hilal respectively. Ben Doak has also left, linking up with Bournemouth in a $25 million deal. Tyler Morton has moved on a permanent basis to Lyon, and James McConnell is joining Ajax on a season-long loan. All these outgoings have left Liverpool looking pretty light in midfield and up top. Liverpool make decision over Elliott. One other player who had been earmarked for a departure is Harvey Elliott. Indeed, the 22-year-old's future looked pretty settled only a few days ago, agreeing to join RB Leipzig on a full-time basis. However, a deal was never struck between the two clubs, meaning the England under-21 international was left in limbo, and now it's emerged that Arne Slot has decided to keep Elliott around due to a lack of numbers in his attack. That's according to a new report from Liverpool insider Lewis Steele. Elliott could be needed, says Lewis Steele. Harvey Elliott is more likely to stay than leave Liverpool this summer, he writes. Arne Slot also knows his attacking depth is a bit on the light side, so Elliott could be needed. Elliott joined the Reds back in 2019 from Fulham and has so far won 2 league titles with his boyhood favorites. But last season, the playmaker struggled for significant game time, only landing 2 Premier League starts. Elliott transfer U-turn. He did, however, play his part in Liverpool's 3-2 win over Newcastle on Monday night, and now looks a viable attacking option for Slot this season. Dominic Szoboszlai, Mohamed Salah, and Florian Wirtz would all appear to be ahead of Elliott in the pecking order, but he will no doubt get his opportunities. Liverpool had been looking for around 35 million for Elliott, who remains under contract at Anfield until 2027. Liverpool transfer news live. Alexander Isak latest, Mark Guehi bid, Cody Gakpo contract talks. Hello and welcome to the YNWA blog covering all the latest Liverpool FC news and transfer gossip. There is now not long left for clubs to conclude their transfer business, with the summer window closing in just a few days' time. The deadline comes on Monday, September 1st at 7 p.m. It's been a pretty busy window for Liverpool so far, with 8 new arrivals at the club, including record signing Florian Wirtz. One name who continues to be linked with a move to Liverpool is Alexander Isak. The forward is training alone at Newcastle United, having indicated his desire to leave the club despite having 3 years left on his contract. The 25-year-old also issued a statement last week claiming promises made to him by the club have been broken and the relationship can't continue. Liverpool have already seen an 110 million bid rejected for the striker this summer. Xavi Simons knock on. Anyone who has taken a broader view of Premier League transfer news this morning may have seen some rumors coming out of London. They are saying Tottenham Hotspur are now the ones on the verge of signing Xavi Simons from RB Leipzig in a $60 million, 51.8 meters deal, when the Dutch talent had been linked with rivals Chelsea for the best part of the summer. But where Liverpool come into this is who Leipzig want as a replacement at this late stage of the window. Bild once again mentioned Harvey Elliott as the target they could move for, which would present the Reds with a difficult question with only 3 days to go until the window closes. The latest report says, whilst the 22-year-old is on the German club's radar, a deal would be complex and by no means certain. What needs to happen for Liverpool to seal Isak transfer? It's the transfer saga that has dominated the agenda all summer. But with just 4 days left of the window, there is still so much uncertainty over Alexander Isak's long-term future. Liverpool have made the Sweden international their #1 target after selling Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez. But Newcastle United are determined to keep hold of the player who has scored 44 Premier League goals in his last 2 campaigns on Tyneside. Isak has established himself as one of the most deadly frontmen in the Premier League during his time in the Northeast, but has made it clear he now sees his future away from St. James Park and has not played in either of their 2 fixtures this season, which included Monday's night remarkable 3-2 win for Arne Slot's Reds. Woltemade Impact Newcastle United are closing in on the signing of Stuttgart striker Nick Woltemade, and according to the BBC, the move could have a huge impact on Liverpool's pursuit of Alexander Isak. The report by Kieran Kelly says the Magpies have since struck a deal for Woltemade, who would be viewed as a centre-forward capable of leading the line right now, as well as a player with immense potential to develop further, which feels like a significant first step. Liverpool have already had a bid rejected for Isak earlier this month. Cody Gakpo close to new Liverpool contract. It's another date with PSV Eindhoven for Cody Gakpo after Liverpool were handed a tough Champions League draw, and reports in Holland tonight are reporting that the Reds forward is on the verge of a new contract at Anfield, Eindhoven's Dagblad's Rick Elfrink has said that he initially signed from the Eredivisie champions until 2028, but now with the Premier League holders, he is set to pen new terms at Anfield. Liverpool plot 40 million Mark Guéhi bid. We're approaching the end of the night here for the Liverpool live blog. It's been a bit wild. Football Insider have reported that Liverpool are preparing a new bid worth $40 million for Mark Guéhi. The overall package, worth $36 million with $4 million in add-ons, is said to be in the region of what Crystal Palace want, and the club are likely to accept it. Alexander Isak, increasingly likely, to join Liverpool Sky Sports' Keith Downey says Alexander Isak is increasingly likely to sign for Liverpool. The reporter says the door has been opened by Newcastle's move for Nick Woltemade. However, he says there is a chance that they may allow Isak to leave with one striker through the door, but it is his understanding that they will want two. Alexander Isak's sale condition met. The Telegraph's Luke Edwards has tweeted that one of the three conditions have been met for Liverpool to sign Alexander Isak. However, the Reds are said to have to meet the price tag set, which was set at $150 million for the Swede, but on the fee, the reporter says, "We shall see," which may suggest a softer stance and therefore cheaper fee. It's added that Newcastle need to know that they can sign a second striker to replace Isak. Newcastle strike mega transfer. Agreement. Newcastle United look to have finally got a striker transfer over the line with a $73 million move agreed for Nick Woltemade. The Stuttgart striker is set to move to the Magpies, reports Sky Sport Germany, with the transfer so far advanced that the player has said his goodbyes to his teammates and is on his way to Newcastle. What might that mean for Liverpool's pursuit of Alexander Isak? We will have to see, but that could all become clear shortly. Liverpool door open to sign Alexander Isak. Where is that Office US meme where it's happening? We may have an instance for it regarding Alexander Isak. There are multiple reports that Newcastle's move for Nick Woltemade will open the door for a move to Liverpool for the Swede. This will develop throughout the night. Liverpool considering making late swoop to sign Rodrigo. Liverpool are considering making a late move to sign Real Madrid forward. Rodrigo goes, as per Give Me Sport. The Reds have purchased Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt by splashing big money this summer. The Frenchman has enjoyed a stellar start this season, scoring 3 goals and registering 1 assist in 3 appearances in all competitions. The Merseyside club have also looked excellent going forward, netting 9 goals in 3 matches. Still, Arne Slot is keen on purchasing a new forward before the deadline, as Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez have been sold. Give Me Sport report that Liverpool are prioritizing signing Alexander Isak from Newcastle United. However, they are contemplating making a deadline day move to sign Rodrigo should they eventually fail to secure the Swedish international service. Rodrigo has been struggling with game time at Real Madrid due to fierce competition for places. As a result, the 24-year-old has lost his place in Carlo Ancelotti's Brazil national team. With the World Cup next year, the Brazilian is seriously considering leaving Los Blancos to play regularly and regain his place in the Brazil team. Rodrigo to Liverpool. However, purchasing the forward won't be cheap as he currently earns a hefty salary at the Spanish capital and also has a 1B release clause. But Real Madrid would be prepared to cash in on him for a more reasonable price. Apart from the Merseyside club, Manchester City and Arsenal are also keen on signing the South American, so he isn't short of potential suitors at the moment. Liverpool have found themselves very thin in the attacking department, as apart from Mohamed Salah, Ekitike, and Cody Gakpo, they have Rio Ngumoha and Federico Chiesa as the other attacking options. Chiesa struggled with game time last term, but has been making substitute appearances consistently this season. He even scored against Bournemouth in the opening Premier League fixture this season. On the other hand, Ngumoha is still very young and needs time to develop, but he scored the stoppage time winner for Liverpool against Newcastle United on Monday. Therefore, Liverpool could do with signing a new forward, and Isak or Rodrigo would be a shrewd acquisition should they eventually manage to sign either of them. Liverpool transfer news as Reds' budget for Alexander Isak revealed. Liverpool is reportedly willing to offer a fee that could rise to $130 million, $176 million, to land Alexander Isak before Monday's transfer deadline. The Reds' chances of landing Isak were boosted on Thursday when it emerged that Newcastle had struck an agreement to sign Nick Woltemade from Stuttgart. Woltemade scored 17 goals in 33 appearances for the Bundesliga club last season and is reportedly viewed by the Magpies as a replacement for Isak. Isak has made it clear that he wants to leave Newcastle and join Liverpool, but the St. James's Park Club issued a statement last week to say that the conditions of a sale had not been met. The wording of that statement suggested the club was open to selling Isak for the right price, and the Times reports that Liverpool feels $176 million would be a suitable price. Meanwhile, Football Insider 247 reports that Liverpool has submitted a fresh bid for Mark Guehi, and that Crystal Palace is expected to accept the offer. The Reds view Guehi as an opportunistic prospective signing due to his contract situation. He is due to become a free agent next summer, and believe securing a deal for him for the fee that they are willing to pay would represent good business. Liverpool signed the highly rated 18-year-old Giovanni Leone from Parma earlier this month, taking the number of center-backs in Arne Slot's squad back up to 4, the same amount as last season. Jarell Quansah's move to Bayer Leverkusen at the beginning of July left Liverpool needing a replacement for the England international, and the acquisition of Leone saw them fulfill that requirement. Liverpool is open to making Guehi the 5th centre-back in Slot's squad, but will only do so if the terms of the deal make financial sense. The club is not expected to pursue an alternative centre-back target if Guehi does not end up moving to Anfield this year, but the latest report suggests Liverpool is confident of landing him. Liverpool's offer is reported to be worth $49 million, with a further $5 million in possible future add-ons, which is reported to satisfy Palace's demands. It is claimed that the transfer is now expected to progress quickly ahead of the closure of the summer window next Monday. Giovanni Leone transfer news. Liverpool agreed deal to sign Parma defender. Liverpool have agreed a deal to sign Parma defender Giovanni Leone. An agreement was reached late on Wednesday night, and the fee for the 18-year-old defender is 26 million plus add-ons. Leone now has permission to travel to Liverpool to agree personal terms and undergo a medical, which is expected to begin on Thursday. Liverpool saw off competition from elite Italian clubs and Premier League sides, with the player adamant his choice was a move to Arne Slot's side. Leone will also immediately join the first team setup for this season, with any suggestion of a loan move completely ruled out. Liverpool were targeting reinforcements at centre-back, with Ibrahima Konate entering the final year of his deal at Anfield. What is the latest on Guehi? Liverpool remain in talks for Crystal Palace defender Mark Guehi and are favourites to sign the England international. The question is whether they can negotiate a fee now or wait to sign him as a free agent next summer. Sky Sports News previously reported there was a gap in valuation between the two Premier League sides. Palace will not let their captain go on the cheap, and Liverpool know they can wait until next summer to sign him on a free transfer. If the situation does not change, it looks likely as things stand that Guehi will stay at Crystal Palace and leave on a free transfer next summer. Liverpool's transfer business goes above 300 million. Liverpool's 26 million deal to Leone is set to take the Reds spending above 300 million this summer. Leone will be the 6th major signing for Arne Slot's Premier League champions this season, with their business set to come to 321 million in paid transfer fees so far. That fee is currently the 3rd biggest transfer outlay from a Premier League club in a single window. And if Liverpool complete a deal to sign Alexander Isak, which could cost well above 100 million, then the Reds could become the biggest summer transfer spenders of all time. Alexander Isak 120-meter transfer stance emerges as Liverpool submit bid. The transfer window is set for a blockbuster conclusion, with the door seemingly opening for Liverpool to sign Alexander Isak. The Reds have been forced to wait for the Swede, despite his public declaration of unhappiness at St. James's Park after expressing a desire to leave the club. However, his much-desired exit hinged on Newcastle United's transfer business. So far this summer, Eddie Howe's side have suffered rejection from João Pedro, Hugo Ekitike, and Benjamin Sesko, piling pressure on their recruitment team in the Northeast, while Isak remained in the cold after being forced to train on his own. The transfer window shuts at 7 p.m. on Monday, and it is set to have an exciting finish with Liverpool, potentially, landing their long-awaited signing plus Mark Guehi, who helped Crystal Palace book their place in the UEFA Conference League group stage. The YNWA has compiled a roundup of all the stories surrounding the Reds and their transfer business. Liverpool. Stance emerges after Isak twist. The Times have reported that Liverpool are unlikely to go above $120 million to end Isak's saga and prize him away from his nightmare at the Magpies. With the Premier League 2 games in, the 25-year-old has yet to make an appearance for Eddie Howe's side after being banished to train on his own, in what has become a bitter saga surrounding Newcastle's record signing. The Reds have already seen a bid worth $110 million rejected by the Northeast club last month. However, it has been suggested that the door is creaking open for a dream move to Liverpool, with Nick Woltemade on his way to England to complete a move to Newcastle worth $65 million. The outlet has claimed that Liverpool will not bow to Newcastle's 150 meters. Price tag and believe around $120 million is the magic number to sign Isak, given there is no competition or bidding war for him. Thank you for watching. Like and comment. Subscribe.